the most crucial thing to your rebuilding effort is going to be the roster, and you've got literally, I don't know, I have 8 pages of people who were legitimately on the payroll at the time, probably 60 people. Can't make it work with that. So what would you do when you went in there?
Well, before I tell you my plan, and I really legitimately presented this to the WCW hierarchy. You have to understand, and you would have to tell the talent, we are failing under our current situation. With all of this money that we're putting out for talent, we are failing. So that system isn't going to work. So my philosophy is that wrestlers risk their life, literally, every time they get in the ring. A ring broke when they hit the rope.
Mm-hmm.
The cable snaps when you're doing just hitting the ropes. Mm-hmm. You go out on your head, you're dead. Mm-hmm. Or you got a chance to be dead. And so my thinking is that when you take away hope from a wrestler, you take away his soul. And I don't care if you pay him $1 million. It's better to give him hope to make $3 million than give him $1 million. As far as being successful, Russia proves that the guarantees don't work. America has proved that a competitive free market does work. And so it's the same with people. So what I would do is I would have a meeting with all the talent, and I would tell them, a lot of you have been talking that Vince and WWE have made approaches for you. So since our current situation is an absolute, utter failure, I'm releasing everybody in the company.
You released the entire company?
I'd release the whole company. I'd say you're all free to follow your dream and to go work for Vince McMahon. And then I would say, but those of you who maybe are making $1 million but would like to be Hogan and make $7 or $8 million, and believe that you have as much talent as he does, you're who I would like to stay. Those of you who would like a chance to make $1 million and are making 50,000, I want you to stay. So I'm going to go over across the hall, and everybody that would like to work under the new system of hope, because I think there's several people in this room that are capable of making $3-4 million. I think there's a lot of people in this room that are capable of making $500,000-600,000, and I know this because I've been at WWE. So I would say meetings adjourned, and I would go over there and say a little prayer that at least 20 people came.
Well, for our purposes, we're going to say around 30 or so do stay. I couldn't tell you who would take you up on that offer. But going by this list, I'd like you to go through the entire list now and just give us the names of the folks that maybe you were saying, you were mentioning in that little prayer that you'd be able to have to work with.
Okay.
And if you come across a name that you were praying didn't take you up on that offer, feel free to tell us the reasoning behind that as well.
Let's keep it all positive.
Okay.
Vampiro, I'd like to come. 3 Count. AJ Styles. This might surprise you, Barry Horowitz.
No, it doesn't. He's actually a very technically sound worker.
Yeah. Billy Kidman and Tori, Booker T, Brian Knox, Chavo Guerrero, Chris Candido with Tammy, Kurt Hennig, Dustin Rhodes, Elix Skipper, the Filthy Animals. Great team. Harlem Heat, Ron and Don Harris, Hulk Hogan with Jimmy Hart, Jeff Jarrett, Jim Duggan, Kevin Nash, Lex Luger with Elizabeth, Ming, and Stacy Keibler, Miss Hancock, Ric Flair, the Steiner brothers, Shane Douglas, Sid Vicious, Sonny Siaki, Sting, Tank Abbott, and Terry Funk.
Now those guys would have to take a significant pay cut to stick around?
More than significant. Yeah. I mean, the gravy train days are over.
Yeah.
Now, I think that in very short order, we'd be paying out just as much money
Right.
in payroll. It'd probably be a different mix.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I think, you know, if it was successful and you take in, my feeling as a booker, I always tried to pay 25% of the gross to the talent. So if they were taking in 125 million when they closed the doors.
Mm.
So let's say that 150 million. And what's 25% of that? 35 million for payroll. That's a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
And I've only got 31 names on here.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Now, a few more than that with the tag teams, but
No, I mean there'd certainly be enough to go around. Championship titles. At the time, we had 6 in WCW. You had a heavyweight, you had a tag team, you had a US, you had a cruiserweight, hardcore television. Do you pare that down at all? Do you scale that down?
you cut it in half.
Okay, keeping 3, which
Yeah,
would be...
keep the heavyweight champion, the tag team champions, and the United States champion. And that's taking a lead from what is successful, the most successful, and that's New York, and they have a heavyweight champion. Well, you know, they've gone crazy. They're doing the same thing Vince said not to do. They've got the spotlight and all kind of titles.
Yeah.
But
Now they do.
I would narrow focus it to 3 titles.
Would you keep the titles on the individuals that have it? Let's see, the heavyweight would have been Sid. Your tag teams would have been the Harris brothers. And, what's that guy's name, the U.S. champ? What's, Jeff Jarrett, right? That's,
Yeah.
so you'd start with that, you keep them in place?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And there's a simple reason that I would. There were a lot of people. I mean, what was the ratings when they closed up? 2 points?
Yeah.
What does that translate?
2 houses, probably. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of people.
Well, no, for the WCW's ratings?
Yeah.
Well, they were clearly on the downside versus
I know
WWE's
it, but they were
ratings.
still.
You're talking about the number of households?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I think they were getting like a 2.3. So I would respect those fans that had a emotional interest in what was going on.
Right.
And following it. The fellow we met tonight that was able to tell us who was champion and who did what in in world class when I was out there.
Yeah.
That was amazing to me.
Yeah.
But that's a great example. He was emotionally vested in the wrestling program. So for those people, you don't take anybody out of character or out of their role.
Right.
The ones that don't sign, I'd go out, whoever I had as my figurehead promoter, and have them tell the truth. You know, these people, we hate to see them go, but they've made a career change.
Good point. Okay, so you would address that on television. It wouldn't be these guys just don't show up the following week.
No. I'd go name them all and probably put together a little tribute to them.
Oh, interesting.
Not for their sake, for the fans' sake.
Yeah.
You know, there are people that have an emotional attachment to the referee. They really do. They say, they run up and get the referee's autograph. They just like the way he moves, and he's such an underdog and gets pushed around, and they identify with him, and they love the referee. So, you know, I would say they're seeking a new direction, and we wish them the best.